Hi, everybody. I'm Nicole,
And my name's Brittany.
and this is the 11-Minute Mile. This is episode number 11. This is called Taking the Plunge because we're going to talk about pregnancy, getting pregnant, birth control, all that juicy stuff, and even just like the challenges that it takes to get there. So, Brittany, you're pregnant. You're due in 50 days, right? We're on that countdown.
50 days, it's official.
That's crazy. Like it went so fast. I remember in May or what was it? May, June when you told me that you were pregnant.
Because I got pregnant last May and June 14th is when I found out. But it was around this time that Dan and I kind of were deciding that we wanted to start trying. And here we are, 1 year later, due in 50 days. We're like very excited. Can't wait.
It's crazy. So I know, like, I remember when we were having this conversation a year and a half ago or 2 years ago about getting pregnant and how it's scary and it's just a change of life, totally a change of life. Um,
Mhm.
how did you get to that point where you knew you wanted to become pregnant?
Well, I think you also know me so well because in those moments of, like, starting to think about getting pregnant, I think I had to verbalize it, like, 100 times before it
Yeah,
even, like, went into effect, and I feel like you're in that point right now. Some people, they just decide they know, they wanna be moms their whole life, and at one point in time, like, I always loved children, but I just know all the difficulties that come along with it. At one point in time, I was like, "Maybe I don't need to have kids," and I think everybody kind of experiences that side of it, but definitely took me many, many, many months of being like, "I'm gonna start soon. It's gonna happen. I'm going to try." So, I feel like once we hit that point, we were like, "Okay, now we are actually ready."
it's so funny because that's kind of where we're at right now. Every other month, it's a different feeling for me. I'm like, yeah, no, I want a baby. I want to be pregnant. And then the next month, I'm like, okay, but it's a life change. Like, can't travel as much. I can't do the things that I'm doing now. Even just working in fitness, like your life definitely, you have to adjust it a little bit. But
Yeah.
you've been fine thus far, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's worked out really well for me now, but that was 100% one of the main things because 'cause I'm like I teach hot yoga. That was, like, the first thing that I was stressed out about because I was like, I can't like, I already know I'm gonna be taking off work after the baby's born, but then to take off work before the baby's even born, it's like there's so much unknown in those first few weeks of even knowing that you're pregnant. You just don't wanna do anything wrong, and I think that's the most terrifying part is working in fitness, we do so much with our body, like, we don't know how we're gonna react. So that was
For
pretty
sure.
scary going into it, but it's worked out great.
It's also been so helpful for me to watch you. Like, I'm really lucky that I've had you to just kind of watch because we are so much the same with
Mhm.
everything and working in the fitness industry and stuff. So it it is helpful. It's really helpful to see that and know that it's possible because it's scary. And I am really nervous about my life changing and I do whatever I
Yeah.
want right now. Like I don't have any other priorities besides me and Chris and working
Mhm.
and going out and having fun and traveling and life is
Yeah,
pretty easy right now. So it is
definitely.
definitely it's a
And I think that's
transition.
why the 9 months is so pertinent because, like, the 9 months, as soon as you find out, like, you as the female are already making changes, and I feel like that really does help evolve and help your mindset change because now, like, now in 50 days, I have, like, a month and a half left, and I'm like, "I am ready to be a mom." Like, I can't
So
wait, like,
wild.
and I feel like at the beginning, I was like, "Oh my god." So it's funny how you just kinda change as your body's growing and as you can, like, really connect with the baby, and I know some people, like, they have it problems even just connecting because it's like, you don't really even see them. It's just like you kind of feel what's going on. It's so
Yeah.
different and so unique for every person, which makes it that much more exciting, and I think that's why it's important to talk about it because everyone's experience is just, like, a little bit different. Some people have different feelings, different emotions about it, and it's an emotional roller coaster. Like, I've
Oh,
been
yeah.
so many times of being just like, I don't know why I'm crying. It's fine.
Your hormones are whack right now, huh?
Totally. But I mean, they were whack before, so this is just like an added bonus. They're like, "You're pregnant." I'm like, "It wasn't the pregnancy. This is no different.
This is just me. I feel
This
like
is
me and you
just
are
me."
both so emotional. Like, remember when we were in Paris and it was just me and you out? We started talking about like all these things. Granted, we had a few drinks, but we were like crying at the bar, just you and
It's
I, talking about like
sobbing.
so many life things, but it kind of was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah. But
Um,
also we're passionate people. That's why
for
we
sure.
cry and we get emotionally involved really quickly, which I think is a positive.
It's great. I don't think it's a bad quality at all. Um, but yeah, it is definitely, it's funny because I thought I wanted to be like pregnant years ago, and I feel like we keep kind of putting it off a little bit. But now I'm at that point where I definitely think we're ready. Like we'd love to start trying soon, which is exciting. But it's definitely okay to, and I'm already going into one of my takeaways way too soon, but I think that there is no shame or you should feel no guilt that it's scary to kind of feel like you almost feel like you're losing a sense of yourself when,
Mhm.
am I right? A little bit like
Yeah,
your whole life does change, but it's okay to have those feelings. Like you shouldn't feel guilty that you kind of are feeling selfish about losing that life. I don't know if I'm
absolutely
explaining
not.
that right. I don't know
I
why I
think
couldn't get
that's
that out, but here, that's what I'm
I
trying to
think
say.
that's perfect, and I think just feeling that selfishness of because, I mean, you end up dedicating so much of your life to this new being that you're creating, and I think that selfishness is that's the scary part of it, and I feel like that's just how life works, like, as soon as you end up having the baby, then you're obsessed with the baby, you love the baby, then when you have another baby, you're, like, obsessed with that baby, just it's like your heart just
And
continues
the
to
next,
grow, and it
next.
continues to change. Yeah, I mean, how many babies are you planning on having?
I don't know. I gotta have
10.
one, gotta have one first. But
Yeah.
it's funny because you and I both were off of birth control. So like I think I was 23 or 24 and it just messed with my hormones so much. I was like, yeah, this is going in the trash. I'm done with it. If I get pregnant, I've been with Chris forever. It's fine. But you kind of are the same way, right?
Well, I
Or you
wasn't really even on I was on birth control just a little bit, and it was like I had, like, water retention I had, like, all the
I
negative side
hated it.
effects of it, and I just did not like it at all, so I really wasn't ever on birth control, like, for a long period of time, and I feel like that was really helpful for when I did wanna get pregnant because I had a really my period, it was, like, spot on, it was 28 days long, like, it was
Mhm.
very easy to track, so I think that part of it is so hard for most people because it's just finding that balance and finding that ability to track it. And luckily, I was able to track it pretty quickly. But
And it's
yeah,
also scary to go off the pill if you have been on it for oh my gosh, I can't speak today. If you have been on it for so long, because
yeah,
I mean, it can help your skin. Like I had really bad acne growing up. And so I was mainly scared to come off the pill because I didn't want to break out and have to like restart my skin process. I mean, in high school, I was on
right.
Accutane. So
Oh my gosh, yeah, I didn't even think
yeah,
about that side of
yeah.
those
So there's
effects.
so many other factors, but I will say that day that I threw out the pack, I was so, so happy that I was done with it. So,
Yeah, it's always nice, and even because I had a pretty consistent, schedule, we still had to do the ovulation strips, like, we were still tracking, like, getting pregnant, like, it still took us about 6 months to even get pregnant, so, like, even with
yeah.
such a perfect schedule, like, it still took us a while, so it's, like, just making that first mindset change of, like, wanting to get pregnant, and then also, like, the act of actually getting pregnant, like, that's a whole nother conversation, but
It can be really, really hard.
yeah.
Totally. It's everyone's bodies is different. And yeah, I feel like we should go into our takeaways. I can't believe how fast the time goes.
I
Two
know, it
minutes on
goes
the
by so
clock.
quick.
I already said my takeaway a little bit. Just it's okay to feel like a little bit selfish. And if you shouldn't feel that guilt. It's okay. It's scary to become pregnant. It's scary to take that leap of faith and move on to that next chapter of your life. I don't think anyone should feel guilty about feeling a little bit selfish, but I'm excited for my next chapter.
I'm
That's it.
excited for you guys,
I don't know why I
but
can't speak today. I can't get words out of my mouth.
it's the second of the month, that's why. We're
Oh,
all
I
just
know.
resetting. But, my takeaway, I think, is I had a lot of kind of fear and anxiety before getting pregnant of all the things that could or possibly maybe are, like, hard or challenging, and I think don't even worry about that stuff until it's right in front of you, because there's no worries, there's no reason to worry about something if you're not even going to have it. Like, luckily I never even had morning sickness, and I was so stressed I wasn't going to be able to teach in the morning because
It's
I was going to have morning
amazing.
sickness, and I didn't even have it. So it's like, why worry about those things when you don't need to? So don't worry about it until it's smack in front of you. So that's my
Day,
takeaway.
day by day.
Day
And
by day,
again,
exactly.
so lucky that I get to watch Brittany. She can tell me all the things and I'll just do exactly what she
Everything.
does.
Ex
I'll be a
5
little
AM
copycat.
5 AM bagel in the morning eliminates all morning sickness for me, so that was super helpful.
Ooh,
I'm like, that's the key in staying active.
I'm in. I'm all for it. Well, thank you guys for listening to episode 11. Definitely we'll have to do another one on this topic. So
Definitely.
we'll see you guys later for the next one.
Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.